So this is Lynn Watson, and you've been breeding dingoes here at Tulane for...
Well, we've been breeding them for 20 years, but here we've been 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, and this is where we've really expanded.
So you pretty much the dingo lady of the world. Your genetics are put through most of the zoos and sanctuaries throughout the world?
Yeah, that's right. I'm really, really proud to say that our conservation little colony here is going to populate the world, and maybe one day they'll repopulate the world.
There he is marking his territory.
Yeah.
So what's the reason? Why do you want to protect the dingo? Why is he so important?
He's unique. You understand, he's unique. He's a wolf that's evolved in Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere, only Southern Hemisphere wolf. And he's unique, he's special. We need him. He's Australian, he's an icon. He looked after this whole land before we come along and said we could do it better.
In his place as the top order predator?
He is our top order predator. He's our lion. He's our tiger. He's our puma. We have to respect him. We don't have to wipe him out.
Yeah.
We need to respect him.
Yeah.
And Indians still have 1 billion people, but they still have tigers. Yeah.
Is that something that really frustrates you? Is that you can have 1 billion people living in the same country as tigers, and yet here in Australia, where we're so sparsely populated, we still need to
kill everything out. Yeah. Well, one, we look as though we need to feed the world. But two, I think the religious background of the Indian people is so giving and forgiving, and understanding that we have to have these creatures there. That's what we need to get. We in Australia are so lucky. We ought to be kicked in the backside, and we need to learn to live with things that maybe don't exactly come and do as we do.
So if you could speak to all the people out there on the one side of the argument that say that this wild dog does need to be wiped out from the inside of the fence, what would you say to them?
I have to say to them, go back and think about it. Get a little bit of age on you. Really think about what you're going to do. Understand. Try to understand. Science is now showing us exactly what's going on. So, try to come to grips with that and work around that. There's got to be a way. Together we can find a way. And we know these animals inside out, really, but we don't know them. Live with them day in, day out, handle them day in and day out, but every day we learn something new. Like if you saw the blind one his partner is his guide dog. She takes him around the corners. If he doesn't come in, she comes and gets him and takes him around the things he can't. They are just like us. They grieve when their partner dies. If you see all of that social interaction of them, you can't help but know these are sentient beings. It's wrong, morally wrong for us to be doing this to them. Let's just sit back and find a way that we can, live together.
So at the same time, obviously, that, it's essential that we do protect them, I think is what you're saying, but at the same time, obviously, they breed in such large numbers.
But I don't think they breed in such large numbers. I need to be proven to me. I don't believe that's the case.
If all puppies survive, then if they have 5 to 7 puppies, then isn't that a 500% to 700% increase in population?
No. All puppies don't survive. And to be breeding, those puppies have got to make 2 years. They've got to make 2 years through the farmers' guns, the traps, the poisons, the aerial baits. They've got to make 2 years past the snakes. There's enough problems for them without man, and now they've got man. I just don't believe the stories about them breeding up in their thousands. It's not true. The figures of the bounty in Victoria prove that that's not true. And we've got to go back to the drawing board.
So are we meddling in every which way? What do you say about those people that are actually feeding, particularly on Fraser Island, where they're feeding the skinny, starving dingoes? What do you say about those people?
Nature's a hard thing. You've got to come to grips with it. And sadly, Fraser Island is a place where you are confronted by the harshness of Mother Nature. Dingoes starve in the wild too. You just don't see it. If they eat a fishhook on Fraser Island and they're in dire internal problems, it's something that is part of the environment of that animal, and the environment is what dictates everything to us. In the end, the environment will dictate to us. When we take out all of the dingoes, when we take out all the things that annoy us, we won't have any biodiversity. We won't have any grass to grow, because we will need so much power to make it fertile that we'll all be gone.
So do you think that feeding the dingoes and meddling in their social structures by having many more dingoes live is just as damaging as eradicating or killing off dingoes?
Well, one, I don't think that many will live, you know, but two, eradicating dingoes is the wrong... We don't know which one should be eradicated.
Right.
Nature does.
Yes.
Let nature sort it out.
Right.
Let nature sort out which ones are good enough
So
to go on
we
and
humans
breed.
should stop meddling.
Absolutely. They're wild animals. We meddle in our domestic animals. These are not domestic. Sad that they look like a domestic animal, but
Do you think that's the greatest problem for the dingo?
Yeah,
is the
I
fact
do.
that he
It
looks
always
like a dog?
has been. Always has been. Yeah. Yeah.